We're just waiting for this movie to drop.
You guys are ready. I love it.
Don't waste any time, Sarah.
Yeah. No,
So,
good job.
so I guess I'm Tom. This is Maddie. We are from the Ghostbusters Containment Unit. This will appear on YouTube. This will be on our. We have a podcast, which our one listener is going to really enjoy. Hearing us talk about Afterlife.
Bless.
Thank you. So we have interviewed one voice performer previously. So tell us about your process. Like, what goes into the life? What's a day in your life look like? The life of a voice performer, voice actor, voice actors.
Every day is so different. It's really hard to answer that question. But the day of a typical voice actor would be wake up, you look at your calendar, you look at your email, make sure that any auditions that were given to you are done, sent. If they're not, you warm up. You get in your closet. It used to be you go to your agency or you go to a casting office, but now almost everything is done in our own home studios or closets like what I have. And you get those out. And I drink water first. Sometimes I have tea. Sometimes I have like a mushroom coffee kind of thing. It depends how I'm feeling,
Mushroom coffee.
Yeah, that's the new thing. It's really great. It's got like chaga and reishi and all kinds of stuff. It's really good for your brain.
Okay. Matt, I think I know what we're doing when I'm in town. We're gonna have mushroom coffee.
It's very good stuff.
Coffee.
It's better than regular coffee. Makes me jittery, and it keeps me up till like Tuesday. So I like to drink either tea or this mushroom stuff. It's been really nice for me. So, and then if I have a session, I'll do my session. All voice actors are doing other stuff now. Like it used to be, you could do one commercial and live off of it for 5 years. Now that really doesn't exist anymore. So everybody's doing other things. I'm working on my own series. I have a small deal, with Group 9, and we're developing a series that's based on art my mom is doing. So,
fantastic!
Stay tuned.
So you mentioned your closet. Did you have to?
That's the interesting portion. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No. I got really captivated by that because Laura Summer, who did the original cartoon, she said the same thing about the closet. So I'm gleaning that this is a voice actor specific thing that everybody does. So everyone has a recording closet. Yeah.
Well, some people get a booth. They get like an actual booth to put in their offices or living rooms or whatever. I didn't want to do that. My place is too small. So I got vocal booth to go blankets. I got some Oralex foam. What else? Oh dear. All these people sponsor me. The Oralex foam I mentioned. Yeah, there was something else. Damn. I use a Sennheiser 416 mic. This is all standing on like a music stand that my mom gave me. And I have French doors, like glass doors. So I put some weather stripping on them. And so they're really tight and it blocks out a lot of that New York City noise, which is nice.
Very nice.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
It's dark in there.
Do you enjoy that over going to the studio?
There are pros and cons to both. It's nice to not have to get dressed and go anywhere, especially when it's really cold out like it is now. But at the same time, studios, you get a more like professional feel. You're like, I'm at work now, and you get to interact with people in person. There's definitely something to it, especially with prelay stuff. Like Ghostbusters should have been done in person, and it wasn't. I recorded that in my closet. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, not ideal. It would have been cool to work with everybody and like prance around and be like, ooh, but that didn't happen.
So before we jump into Ghostbusters, because that's the main gist here, but you have a very long resume and you've done a lot of different voices for a lot of different projects. Yeah. Let me ask, what can you tell us about the one you're working on? What's coming soon? Can you say anything about it?
Are you talking about Pokemon?
No. The one you're working on, based on your mom's drawing.
I can't really say much about it yet, just because things aren't. So much of it is not finalized yet. But we have a really nice team. I don't know if I can say this. Yeah, I don't know how much I can say. There's a deal with an animation company, and they're very, very talented animators there. And The art is a little bit inspired by Triplets of Belleville. That's a movie that came out when I was like the early 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
It's a
Won an
French
Oscar.
Yeah, it's a great movie. So she didn't know that movie, but I was looking at all her characters and I'm like, oh my God, that's what that is. So it's set in Brighton Beach, potentially a fictional Brighton Beach. It's a neighborhood in New York that's very, very Russian. I'm Russian. So it's a very diverse cast of characters, and it kind of skewers journalism today and kind of invasion of privacy and a desire to be famous and get on camera and be out there and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say for now.
You had me at journalism. I was a journalism major, so
Oh, really?
Yeah, so very cool.
Maybe you'll enjoy it, I hope.
I'll look for it. So I suppose we'll dive in. There's one question we have to ask before anything else. So before you got involved with Afterlife, were you a fan of the original films?
Yeah, huge fan. I feel like all the boys that I went to school with were huge fans and the girls really weren't. And I was friends with most of the boys. I was very much a tomboy growing up. Huge fan. Yeah, I loved it. So it was I didn't know this was what I was working on until I got into my closet and turned on my Zoom. And I was like, oh my God. I thought I suspected it, and then they turned it on. I'm like, yes.
Very so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously both grew up Ghostbusters fans. Matt, you had the Ghostbusters show up at your birthday one year, is that right?
I did. My 6th birthday party, the Ghostbusters came to my house, and they removed a ghost from my house. So it was a very memorable occasion for me.
That's amazing. Did you feel the spirit? Did you know it was there? Was this a real story?
No, this
I don't know.
Something my dad had. He elaborately led this for weeks leading up to my birthday. He's like, Matt, there's a ghost in this house. I'm like, come on, Dad, whatever. And then I'm only 6, so then I'm starting like, oh my gosh. And I remember it. The Ghostbusters came. They had their form of the Ecto come, and they go into my parents' bedroom, and you hear them rustling around and kind of screaming a little bit. And one of them had put on a mask, popped his head out the door. That whole thing terrified me. Like I probably needed to wear brown pants that day. And then they came out with a trap, and it was smoking, and it was quite the memorable moment. Yeah, it was terrifying, but great at the same time. So yeah, long time Ghostbusters fan.
Wow. Super. No,
so no Ghostbusters.
Nobody ever did anything like that for me. No, I think I had my most memorable birthday was at Color Me Mine, and I painted some pottery.
Hey, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that's nice.
Does it count? I went to a kid's party dressed as a Ghostbuster once. Does that count?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
As a super fan, yeah. That's what a super fan does.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, she was a super fan. She was like 4 years old, and she loved the Ghostbusters more than I did. So, it was worth
My
it.
upstairs neighbor, he had the Ghostbusters costumes. Like on Halloween, I remember he once dressed up like a Ghostbuster. I was like, ooh.
Were you like, I'm in that? No.
Well, now.
So you mentioned that they kind of kept it a secret. We've heard that from others who had auditioned and whatnot. So tell us, how did you get involved with the film?
So it was a strange start. I did 3 videos for Vanity Fair, one where I talk about how dubbing works, one where I show how I do Pokemon, the whole process of producing Pokemon, and one where I was presented with a bunch of characters that I'd never seen before, and I was asked to improvise upon them, upon the
Ooh, that's fun.
drawing. So Jason Reitman, the director, had seen that, and he reached out to me, and we just talked about animation and stuff. And then he's like, "Hey, are you free in a couple of days or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What can I do for you, sir?" And that's how that happened.
And they showed you the footage, so you were actually reacting to the footage. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it for the first time on the job, on the clock. I didn't have any chance to prepare or anything like that.
So it was like an improv. You had to improv a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So how do you go being a fan of this 100-foot Stay Puft now to doing these little Stay Puft? Like what do you do in your head to come up with these sounds?
Well,
Like, what are
I
you
prepared
thinking
by
here?
watching the film again a couple of times just to kind of try to get into the zone and see why they're so tiny now, like what the thought process could have been behind that. And I just listened to what he wanted. I mean, he wanted them to be like little toddlers and really mischievous and, you know, funny, but also a little scary and diabolical. So we just kind of improvised on that. That's where kind of the magic happens that I find it really hard to articulate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We just
So
Were
watched it
you
and we're like, hee. Yeah.
Were you
are
given?
you able?
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead.
You by all means.
No, go ahead, Tom, please.
I'm sure yours is much better, but I'll go anyway. So were you given specific Mini-Pufts to voice, like, or you're given the scene and you're like, go?
So it depends. If there was a specific Mini-Puft doing a very specific thing, then yes. Yeah, he was like, you do this one, you cover this one. And then we would switch. We basically would just audition various Mini-Pufts. So I still have trouble kind of like watching, and there are certain sounds that come out of there. I'm like, oh, that's me. But I still have, I got to watch it a couple more times to really be able to be like, that one is me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ira Hayden, who Nightmare on Elm Street guy who also did the voice here, he was able to identify that he did the drooling one. He's like, that's me. I have no
Cool.
idea how you identified that, but that's awesome that
Yeah.
he was able to pick it out, right? So
I think I'm the one that goes that kind of goes. He's like on a skewer and he spins around. I'm pretty sure that's the one that's like something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
was it? Did you find it? Oh, Matt, go ahead. You had a question, sir.
Well, I was going to ask, like, you're so popular for Ash and Pokemon and doing one character. Is it more challenging to try to do a bunch of different characters in a scene like that? Or
No,
is it
it's
you just
kinda
take it one by
liberating.
one?
You take it one by one and you keep your eyes like in the scene where they're all on the Roomba or whatever it is, you know, like the floor back. That's a little bit more difficult because you have to pick one immediately and be like, that one's me, and just follow it and keep following it. And they kept spinning and spinning. So I'm like, oh no, guy lost it. Very frustrating. But no, you know, it's all fun. It can be complicated, it can be a little difficult, but at the end of the day, it's all fun. And it's not theater, right? Like the stakes aren't that high. It's not film. It's not actual a roll of film. Like we can retake this as many times as time allows. But in a situation like that, time allows. So
it's just that scene is so it's so quick and there's so much happening. And as they cut to different parts of the shelves and grills and all these different things, like it's overload for us to watch it. So I was just wondering, you know, recording the voices if that's a challenge or not. But
we
it's
take
all
it,
very fun.
Chunk by chunk. It's like when there have been scenes in Pokemon where there are a lot of Diglett. I remember that happening kind of recently enough that I can talk about it. There are a lot of Diglett, and I had to like do this Diglett, and then we go back and I do this Diglett and this Diglett and this Diglett, like over and over and over and over again. I want to make them all a little bit different and kind of harmonize them a little bit to make it, you know, nice to the ear. And so I'm not a stranger to, you know, group scenes where you have to make them all sound different yet the same.
Yeah.
So Matt and I are, you know, obviously diehard fans. We've seen the movie more times than we're going to admit in this interview already. So I've taken it upon myself to, you know, kind of look at scenes pretty closely, and I've determined that my favorite Mini-Puft is the one that does the thumbs up from Terminator 2 when he's melting into the grill, which is a pretty great reference. So I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite Mini-Puft, or if not, do you have a favorite gruesome Mini-Puft death?
The most memorable one is the skewer that goes around. I've only seen the film once. This is a really tough question.
It's all right. We're the crazy ones here.
Oh God, I love it when they one ends up under a piece of chocolate and is really happy about it. I really enjoyed that. But other than that, I need to watch the film again and again and again. Those are
Right,
the two,
Matt?
those are the two really memorable moments. And the Roomba,
Yep.
that's really
It's
memorable.
so funny how much they love the suffering. And so even like the little one in the blender, they get blended up and then his face just splatters against the glass and he's smiling. Like, I love that.
Yeah. That's I remember that. Yeah. Cool.
But then I even love like the little weird things, like the one that Paul Rudd interacts with, and when he falls on the shelf and there's the holes in the shelf and he stands back up and you just see them imprinted in his stomach.
Yeah.
Just the little details like that I thought was so cute and clever.
Yeah, really clever. I went up to Paul Rudd at one of the parties and I was like, we've been in a scene together. It's my best work. Thank you.
Sexiest man alive.
I congratulated him. Like, how's that? Weird, right? Can you imagine? I mean, being labeled that and now the whole world just wants to follow you around and get a piece of you.
Weird.
Yeah, Matt, how does it feel to be runner-up?
Talk to us, tell us.
Yeah, you know, it's a my cross that I carry, but you know,
it's tough. It's tough.
So I guess you know, the Mini-Pufts, they're very in the same awe as I don't know if you've seen Army of Darkness, but there's these little mini characters in Army of Darkness that are also evil, and then that kind of goes back to Gulliver's Travels. And was there any specific direction that you were given, like when creating these characters, like from Jason to emulate that, or were you given kind of full reign? Was it pretty clear to you looking at the scenes what needed to happen?
It was pretty clear, but he definitely was like, I remember him. I should have taken notes. I really should start keeping a diary of things like this. But he definitely wanted them to be mischievous and young, like really little and toddler like. So that's what I remember. I don't want to pontificate on that too much because I don't remember that well.
It's all right.
That's what I remember.
Were you given? Well, I guess you weren't given dialogue, but did you? So when you're doing the voice, you know, there's a lot of it's a lot of noises and grunts and squealing and such. Is there any dialogue you're able that you actually said? Like, because here's the thing. Here's the reason I asked. So Chris, he had asked us when we were setting up the signing. He said, "Okay, well, if we're going to do quotes, let's do a different tier." And I said, "Okay." And then I started thinking about it. I was like, "But what would you quote as a Mini-Puff?"
No.
That's good. That's good.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was definitely a take where we kind of spoke-ish, but not really. It's like, no, stop. Maybe we did like a stop or something. Maybe. I feel that you guys have seen the movie more times than I have. Was there anything discernible that you guys heard?
No, but it's all kind of edited together, and there's so many voices kind of overlapping with each other. It makes it a little tough. There's almost a hooray at the end.
Yeah,
in the car.
Yeah.
But I think that would be it.
We should take a really good listen.
Right.
When they're banging on the glass when the original guys come back. I remember. Spoiler, I guess, but if you haven't seen the movie yet, that's on you.
Yeah,
way to go. Yeah. Very cool.
I know you've been doing this for voice acting for a long time and some pretty notable characters, but does it ever get old to see the characters you bring to life become toys?
No, it's very exciting. I mean, now more than ever, I've been doing more conventions now that like I have a fan base. They grew up with my work. So it's exciting because everybody's like bringing new things to me to sign, and it's more interesting.
You're about to get real busy with those Funko Pops and all the different Mini-Puff ones. Yeah,
I'm excited. They're really cute. They're so good. How many different ones are there? Like 5 of them?
There's like 11 total because there's exclusives too. Yeah.
Boy. I should probably get some, right? Should I like be buying them for myself?
Well, so technically they're not out yet. However, I live in Seattle and Funko is actually right here in Everett. And so they had 2 in stock and they're actually going to arrive today. Ooh, so I've got the little cocktail umbrella one and the lighter one, but they're all over the place.
Okay, that's exciting.
Is there any one you want specifically? Because we can probably have one for you.
I want them all.
Signing. You want them all? So do we.
I want them all, and I want an apartment big enough to house them all. Well, I can line them up here. Yeah, I can do like a weird shrine. There's a lot to build. There's a lot of northward space. I haven't hung anything because I knew I'd be getting 11 Funko Pops from you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. You could have chaotic Mini-Pufts just like strategically placed all around your apartment. So when people come in, they're like, why isn't the TV work? And then you go behind the TV and it's like, oh, Mini-Puff unplugged it.
Mini-Pufts,
There you go.
Yeah. I don't even have a TV.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a screen. I don't have a TV. Yeah.
Mini-Puff took it.
There you go.
Took the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you pull down the screen with the remote control, they can be there.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
useless.
fantastic. So I'll ask this, Matt, if you got anything, go after this, but I have one last question. So, and this is just kind of out of curiosity. Have you done a convention since the pandemic?
Yeah, I've done a few.
Yeah. Oh, how are they?
They're great. They're great. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's for the most part wearing masks. I did them. I did one in Texas recently, which was amazing. Like a really, really fun show. Some people have plexiglass. I did one where I requested plexiglass, my first one back, and then I found that you couldn't hear anybody through it, so I put it away.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's excited. People are really excited. They're very excited to be back. Like everybody's really excited and pumped to be back. And so.
Yeah, I've done a couple.
You guys not done one?
I've done a couple, and here in Florida, does COVID even exist? So
it does.
It does.
It does.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. But we did the plexiglass was there. When people get the pictures with the glass divider in between, there's a lot of that. But I've also noticed that a lot of guests have started not using the plexiglass, and I think for your reason, just it's hard to hear.
Hard to hear
because it's loud already.
Yeah. I take off my mask. I wear an N95 in there, but for the selfies, it depends. If I see it's a family or a person with a mask on, I ask, do you want it on or off? And if it's somebody with their mask off, I take my chances.
I took my chances and I went to New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
But I was in and out because I knew they were going to screen the movie. So we were invited to that. And I was there probably for 45 minutes, like on the floor. But I haven't done one since. So I'm kind of interested. Did I freeze?
Everybody froze. You were there for 45 minutes?
Pretty much, yeah. At New York Comic Con, just because I hadn't done one yet, and it was a little different to be back.
Yeah. I was there just hanging out. Had a good time.
Very cool. It was a good show.
You don't realize how much you love these things until you can't do them. I miss them.
Yeah.
Very true.
The energy is really great.
Well, Sarah, you're kicking off our big Mini-Puft project. We're starting with you. We're going to have a ton of Mini-Puft related memorabilia and such to bring you in a couple weeks. We're excited to see you in person and meet you face to face. And we're very grateful that you took the time out of your day to chat with us. And on behalf of the fans, great work in the film, and hopefully we'll see much more Mini-Puft in the future.
Yes,
that's what we're hoping.
Hope so. All right, thanks so much, guys.
All right,
Thank
take
you,
care.
Sarah.
Bye now.
Hey.